that uko na mental disorder, but it is how you're able to cope with what life has. So it's about balance, a state of balance with the environment and within the environment. And it takes care of the physical, psychological, social, cultural, spiritual, and interrelated factors that participate in producing the balance. So how are you physically? Do you have a physical disease? Are you okay? Psychologically, like your emotions, yeah? How is your heart? Like your thoughts, even your own thoughts. Do you have thoughts of aujipendi? Or you think, what will others say? Or you feel low, yeah? So that is all about mental health. And you have to be so balanced about your life for you to be able to cope up with what life has to offer. We can go to next. In case somebody feels there's a question of I've lost you, you can lift up your hand. Yeah, so why is this mental health discussion so important? Huh? So mental health, it affects how we think, feel, and act. If you're not okay, you'll not think okay, you'll not feel okay. So kuna vile tunasemanga ma feelings, aki mimi si feel kufanya hivi na hivi. So those feelings, you'll not be okay, and you'll not act okay. Kwanza hapo pa acting, you want to sleep, you're tired, ujiski. So that's the word we use, tujiski. So it's all about your mental health. Your thoughts, mood, and emotions, and how you behave relating to other people, the external factors. So mental health is very important from every stage of life, and we'll see why, right from childhood to adolescence to adulthood. Sahi, I've seen YPs, I've seen young people who've gotten married recently, I've seen guys who are in college, I can see high schoolers. So it starts from early on when you are young, the things that you've gone through in life up to where you are, and even the things that you're still going on in life, even now, will affect who you are and will affect your current mental health. And we'll see what we need to do so that we can be able to overcome some of the disorders that we are currently seeing at this time. So now for mental health, actually, the 10th of October is the World Mental Health Day. It's celebrated with a green ribbon. Si tunajuanga hizo stories za ribbons. Purple is for cancer. Pink, tunajuanga breast cancer. HIV have their red ribbon. So mental health. So when you see something has a celebration day, it means it really matters to the world. Yeah? And I'm really insisting on this part that it really matters, so that once we go through the signs and the symptoms, if you identify yourself to have some of those symptoms, it is right, it is okay to go seek help. Si ati umechizi, apana. It's a circumstance that you are currently in, a situation, and it is okay to be like that, and you need help. Okay. So this one is for discussion. What are some of the mental disorders we know? Isipokuwa kuchizi. I think because that's what I hear most of the time. Kutokwa na wazimu. Apart from that, do we know of others? Any ideas? Yes, I can hear here my sister, stress. Amesema stress. Anything else? Ama tupatangi stress. Gosh, or is it only me? Anything else? Any mental disorder? Or we are wondering, why did Pastor bring this topic? Na sisi hatuna ugonjwa. Yes, Anita. Pardon? Bipolar. Tunajua bipolar? Where you have different mood swings and personalities and given times. So media, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so those are the types of mental illnesses. They are classified. So one, we have anxiety disorders. How many times do we get anxious? Aki sina fare, sijui nitaenda job aje. Aki sina do na tuko church, what will I eat for dinner? What else are we imagining now? Aki sijamaliza kale ka assignment. What time will I finish? What else do we think? Aki sina pesa ya gas. I saw somebody posting about gas the other day. Amen. And they were wondering, and they told us not to put the flame too high. It is not burnt sacrifice that we are cooking. Yeah, I loved that, my brother. So those anxieties, what in life is giving you anxiety? So when you undergo a lot of stress, you actually get into anxiety disorder, and it is actually a disorder. 2, mood disorders like depression and bipolar. So you go through circumstances in life until you get depressed. And these days we are having people getting depressed even in teenagehood. Yeah. Substance abuse disorder. Unakunywa pombe, you're continuously addicted, you cannot do anything about it. You take drugs, and it is happening in the church. Si ati ni kitu ya ajabu. Sio hapa kwetu. Uko nje. But I know it is happening. Now, the other disorder is psychotic disorders, such as schizophrenia. Eating disorders, such as bulimia and anorexia. Young ladies, tunajua hizo disorders. Who can define bulimia? Where you eat because you don't want to get big, you vomit. Tunakula poa sana na wewe hapa, but you rush to the bathroom, you go and induce vomiting. And you do it over and over again until you become addicted to it. That's a disorder. Anorexia, you don't want to get big. It actually scares you. You really want to be thin. Hata ukienda kwa kioo unaona tu you're big, and yet you're so slim. So what do? You get into strenuous exercises, you get into weird diets. Any diet kitokelezea ni wewe. On the internet, if you search your history, it is all about those diets. What diets are you going to take for you to become slim? Because these days, being slim is the in thing. And even our men, munatafuta tu dem tudogo. Our models ni wadogo. So you want to fit in and become small at the risk of your health. I know Daktari is there, you've dealt with such cases, and it is happening even with young people. There's impasse disorders, such as kleptomania. Now, these are guys who get, they feel happy and energized and excited when they see people's stuff and they want to steal. They steal for fun. Tunajua tu kama hao. Aki sio shida uko nayo. Si ati umekosa, but that thrill, you steal and you feel so good about it. Have we met of such people in college? Kama munashangaa, guy, kuna watu kao. Yes. You have money on you, you actually have something on you. Tuseme uko na hiyo blouse ya kuvaa, but utaenda tu kwa kamba na uibe na usikie mzuri sana ukienda nayo kwa room, and you feel wow. In the office, you're there picking people's things, and it becomes a habit. Yeah. Then there is also the other impasse disorder, which is called Pyromania, and these guys derive fun from fire. So they start fires anyhow, wherever. Yeah. They just feel nice seeing fire, starting fires and fires burning places. So those are some of the disorders. Maybe you've not met people like those, but they're actually there. The other thing, an impasse disorder is like gambling. Yani yes, hapo sasa nimeona ninashika wengi. Yeah? Yani kubet, unasikia yes. Placing those bets and winning, getting some money, sometimes unachoma, but you still there next time. Yeah? Haifanyikangi hapa. But remember betting, all those gambling games. Sizilishika sana Kenya. Yeah, until legislation came against them. Yeah? And it really caught so many people, even those in the church. And guys were asking, is it wrong to do gambling? Na ukisikia mahali unauliza kitu, is it wrong? It is actually wrong. Higher personality disorders, so that is inflexibility, such as obsessive compulsive disorder, commonly known as OCD. Nani tuko na OCD? It is a very common disorder. Yani you want to do things repeatedly until in a line in a certain way. You just feel like doing it over and over again until it is correct. Most people call it being perfectionists. Yeah? Tuseme handwriting, unaandika, ukikosea hiyo jina una cancel, unararua hiyo karatasi, you start all over again. If it is you like Samba doing cakes, aki ukidecorate unaona ijatoka poa hiyo unatupa, unaanza ingine. Yeah, we have people who have OCD and it's something that needs to be managed. The other is trauma-related disorders, such as post-traumatic stresses that lead to emotional numbness. So you go through something in life, a loss, so as you undergo grief, you're not able to overcome that. Yeah, people have gone through rape, defilement, just stuff. You've watched maybe parents getting killed. We have refugees in the country. We have people who underwent, they saw the clashes 2007, 2017. They actually people, mnajua kuna watu walitolewa kwao, and they're now living somewhere else. If this is not managed, that is one thing that could cause this. Yeah? We can go to the next. So far from those disorders, kuna mali umejiona? Bado. Now, how do the statistics look like so that we see whether we are part of those statistics? The World Health Organization in 2019, there's a report that was produced, and Kenya was ranked the 6th country in Africa to have the most depressed people. 6th in Africa. By the way, I forgot to say anxiety and depression, they are the highest in the country right now, the highest disorders in the country right now. So that report showed at least we have 1.9 million people who are living with depression. Yeah? And unfortunately, it is mostly in men. And this is because most of these cases go undiagnosed. People don't have a clue of what signs to look for. And even if they get, we'll go through the signs. Even if they get, they will not go to seek care. Wanaume kujichocha. Huh? At least ladies utenda uketi chini ulie na mwenzako. You go meet a stranger and they tell you stuff. They just open up. Women wako na hiyo, they are just easy. But men, what do? Tunajifungia, unanyamaza. And you feel, mwanaume hafai kulia. So the report, sio mimi, the report showed men are actually more depressed than women. Now, according to the Kenya National Commission for Human Rights in 2011, 1 in every 4 people undergoing, 1 in every 4 people are undergoing a mental health illness. So tukijiganisha, sitaanza hapa kwa pastors. Mtaanza pale nyuma. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of you has a mental illness, a mental disorder. 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many to groups of 4s? So how many people here have it? Roughly? 10, 20? I should have told you to do 1, 2, 3, 4. All number 1 stand. Yeah, so 1 in every 4 people have a mental health disorder. The reason the Kenya Human Rights took that as human rights. What happens if you have a disorder? You're discriminated against. There's a lot of stigma that faces you. Unanyimwa opportunities kama ni kazini. In schools, people don't want to associate with you in life. So because of that, the human rights people took it as a concern. And that's why there was that survey that was done. Yeah? And that is why we are saying, when you find you have the symptoms, tokelezea, it is okay, seek help before it becomes serious. Now, the Ministry of Health, last year, they actually confessed that they've not done a national-wide survey on mental health. And you remember last year during COVID is when instances of gender-based violence, a lot of instances of children being molested, a lot of, all those issues around violence. Yeah? So last year it became a concern, and they actually owned up and said there was no nationwide survey that has been done. But depression and anxiety has actually been known. In the health facilities, it is actually leading. And this is mostly affecting the ages of 14 to 29. See, this is the age that is here. So the things that we are going through in life is what is causing us to undergo some of these stresses that are being seen. We can go to the next slide. So what are some of the factors that are affecting mental health? The first one is a family history. Although from medical research, not many people are affected by this. The schizophrenias, very few people. I mean, you can't say I'm like this because it runs in the family. It is a very small number. Life experiences is what has the majority of the causes of mental health. So you may have undergone child abuse, trauma, or neglect. As you are growing up, what did you go through? Have you opened up? Am you still bottling inside? Social isolation, loneliness, stigma, and discrimination. There's a research that was done in 2019, 2020 that showed 61% of Kenyans are lonely. Yeah, so for somebody to have said they are lonely, yeah, so you feel isolated, you are being discriminated against. Social disadvantages like poverty, or you get yourself into debt, yeah? And you know some of the things of why you get into debt, maybe you're living beyond your means, you don't have an income, you have no anything, so you feel poor and you're socially disadvantaged. Bereavement, this is very real. You undergo a loss and you're not able to come out of it. You lose a parent, you lose somebody close to you, you know, and you feel you're not able to move on with life. Unemployment or losing your job. YPs, Bwana asifiwe. This happened during COVID. Bado tuko pamoja, tunang'ang'ana. Or we have lost it and gotten depressed. YPs, mukaachwa wakati wa COVID. You were to take somebody home, but COVID came, and in the mix, they disappeared. What happened? Those in college, you missed an year. Mkikaa nyumbani because of COVID. Have you moved on? Or you're still saying, aki ningekuwa nimemaliza shule, I would be working now. It's not obvious. Accept life the way it comes. There's a reason for everything. Yeah? I lost a parent. That is why if my mom was alive, if my dad was alive, sai ningekuwa mahali. Do we ask ourselves those questions? Gosh, ama ni mimi tujiulize hizo maswali. Do we ask ourselves? Yeah? Do you get to move on with life? Aki mdosi wangu ni mbaya, he made me lose my job. So I have no direction. So you've heard Reverend saying hata askuma unalima. Are we able to move on past where we are? Drug and alcohol abuse, like I said, sio hapa. But yes, we have too many young people, 14 to 29, getting into alcohol, getting into hard drugs, Mira and all that. Mira was declared an essential service. Tobacco and alcohol were considered essential services during COVID because Kenyans, unfortunately, people drink a lot. You know one thing really that surprises me, I leave for work very early and tunajua hii club Billionaire, the one that is on your way out of town. Gosh, ama tunaijua, si vibaya kujua club. Sindio, chairman. Si vibaya, I'm not saying we visit, tunaijuanga. Club Billionaire is next to the shells, the two shells on your way out of Embu. And you know, it is so amazing. You can find the club so busy at 4 in the morning on a Monday morning. 4 a.m. na ni Monday. So I keep asking myself, gosh, who are these ones? When they don't go to work? Kwanza that week when high schools closed. Oh, lo. I was like, okay, I wish these are not our high schoolers who are there. Oh, I mean, you know, I would expect Monday, clubs are clear, you know. Anyway, long-term caregiving experience. You have a sick parent or a sick child or a sick friend. I've seen this a lot with terminal illnesses. People who are caregivers to people with terminal illnesses, especially non-communicable diseases. You're nursing somebody with cancer, or you're nursing somebody with diabetes and hypertension, and you umempeleka hospitali, you come and clean them, you come and feed them, you are the one tucking them in bed, you're the one utajua watakula nini, it can bring you down if you're not careful about it. And actually, we've had sessions even with caregivers, and they say it is draining. They have no one to talk to. Everybody in the family, wanajua, Sister Susan is the one who takes care of our mother. The other day, I was with somebody. She recently got diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer, and now she's undergoing treatment. She has been taking care of the mom for the last 6 years. The mom has a terminal illness. She works with oxygen, those 2 oxygen pumps. So this lady is the second born in the family, and she's well off. So everybody, her sisters, brothers, they knew, so mama nakaanga huko. And she's nursed with the mom for 6 years. She's not complaining. She took it. She was like, okay, our dad is not there, mom is lonely, she's sick. Wacha akuje kwangu. Then now, when last month she was diagnosed with cancer, her sisters have shown up. Oh gosh, we can assist with mom. We can assist to be taking your kids to school. We can assist in this and this. And now she was asking me, kwani, where have they been all these years? Mbona waliniachia hii kitu yote? Now she's realized, haya, you can actually move on with life, not to neglect. I'm not saying you neglect your responsibilities or whatever has been put upon you, but don't kill yourself with it. Imagine life will move on even after you're gone. Have you realized that? See, when you lose a job, see, organization inaendeleanga. Actually, the next day, have you seen, unfortunately, people who've passed on, their positions are even advertised before they are buried. Imagine life goes on. Don't kill yourself with stress. Anyway, domestic violence, bullying, and other forms of abuse that you undergo when you're mkubwa, like you're an adult. Unaolewa, these young guys here, the very reverend tu amesema. Then you go and find somebody, and you're wondering, gosh, huyu ndio nilipenda. Yeah? So you can undergo some stresses. Then now there's the physical harm, the physical causes of mental health, mental disorders. For example, you fall down, or you get into an accident and you get a hand injury, or you have long-term illnesses, yeah? Especially people with terminal illnesses. There's a statistic that said at least 25% of those who are in outpatient actually face mental health, 40% those who are admitted. You have a mental health issue, yani mpaka inakusumbua kiakili. If you're undergoing some form of treatment, maybe you're doing chemotherapy, or you're doing dialysis, or you're doing, over and over again, it can weigh you down. We can go on to the next slide. So how do you know, what are the common signs of mental health? Now, unfortunately, I'm not even able to see my own slides. Na nilisahau miwani. Somebody can read. We can get volunteers who can read 1, 2, 3. Yes, you're feeling sad. Oh, thank you. Feeling very sad or withdrawn for more than 2 weeks. 2 weeks ni kidogo. How many of us have felt withdrawn for more than a month? And you're wondering what's happening around you. Feeling very sad or withdrawn? Seriously trying to harm or kill yourself. Somebody say amen. So we are having suicide cases even in church. Ama si hapa kwetu. How many of us, yani umepitia life, mpaka unasikia, gosh, niende nitafute rat. ako kadawa kwa chemist. And it's not sold over the, it's not sold with a prescription, you're over the counter. Sasa kwangu kuna panya mob. Sinipatie your dawa and you're given. Have we ever reached that stage in life? The other day I met some guy, he's born again now, but he tells me he was in UON, University of Nairobi, the university. He failed the first time in second year. Na akaenda akapanda anniversary towers. It is just opposite. Sindio opposite, it is opposite UON. Akaenda akapanda 11th floor. And there are very many students who wanatafuta help. So nobody will pay attention to you. He went up, akasimama kwa dirisha, and was like, now what do I tell my mother? I have failed. But he says he was born again. He was brought up in a very strong Christian background. He just felt a voice within him tell him it is not over. And that is how he was able to go back. So do we listen to the Holy Spirit who talks to us continuously? What can make you want to harm yourself? Umeachwa and you like, what? Haki life haiwezi endelea. Uyo msichana ameniwacha, I am now finished. Ama akiyo chalia ameniacha. See, those are the common things with this age. Imagine you might date 3 or 4 or 5 before you get your Mr. One, the one, or Mrs. the one. Do we know that? So why tunapatanga stress ya nini? Ama, wewe ni mzee huwezi elewa hii maneno. Fine. I was there once. Severe out of control risk-taking behaviors. Yes. I think the best example I can give this is with Subaru drivers. I think for them, they have the most risky lives. Yes, those are very nice, sleek cars. But have you seen their kind of driving? You take such risky behavior, you even wonder whether that somebody values their lives. Ama unaona boda imetoka one end to the other. The way that guy is driving, So some risky behaviors, when you start taking risky behaviors, jichunguze, are you okay? Sudden overwhelming fear for no reason. So these are panic attacks. You've gone through a traumatizing experience and you start getting panic attacks. Uoga ingine inakuingia until you don't know what next. What do you do? Not eating or throwing up or using laxatives to lose weight, significant weight loss or weight gain. This is mostly for eating disorders. Seeing, hearing, or believing things that are not real. Yeah, you've had, unasikia sauti zikikuongelesha. You've had people, for example, there was a child molester sometime in Kenya who said he alisikia sauti ikisema auwe mtoto ama auange watoto. Repeatedly using drugs or alcohol for substance abuse disorders, drastic changes in moods, behaviors, personalities, or sleeping habits. Ulikuwa unalala sana usiku, you have no problem sleeping, suddenly you cannot sleep, or you are tossing about in bed. Personality issues, moods, behaviors. Sometimes you feel weird pain, stomachs, extreme difficulty in concentrating or staying still. You start fidgeting, you can't concentrate. Unashindwa nini, you've changed. Then unasema, I guess I'm tired. Jichunguze. Intense worries or fears that start getting into affecting your daily activities. So ulikuwa umezoea, you are a smart lady, you are a smart gentleman, unaamka, unapasa. These days you're not in the mood of doing it. Or, kwako tukiingia kwa nyumba for YPs, utensils starting from sijui where to where, hazijaoshwa for days. Socks, wanaume amen, zinaanza sijui wapi, clothes all over. Young, those who are living with parents, you just don't feel like doing any more work in the house, So some of these things, and they translate, there's the healthy lifestyle where you don't have any of these symptoms. They go moving to a reacting stage where you get a few of these symptoms. The injured stage is now where seriously you are seeing more of these conditions. You cannot sleep, you're having panic attacks, you're not able to eat, you're very, you feel like life has lost meaning, you start isolating yourself. If you're ill, literally, uko tu chini. Sasa hapa you're even contemplating, I need to end my life, or I need to hurt somebody, or I need, yeah? So you can gauge yourself. Tuko wapi? I leave that to you. Next. Okay, we are not alone. That is why I keep asking tuko wapi. I've gone through anxiety. It's not like, si Reverend amesema will be perfected when Jesus comes. I've gone through anxiety. I've gone through post-traumatic stress. I've had panic attacks because of stuff that has happened. But have I moved on? You know, that's the most important question. Have you been able to seek help? So we have Bible characters who actually underwent some of these things. We have somebody like David, the man after God's own heart. There are times he was troubled. There are times that he had despair. Na unaona inaandikwa deep despair. There are times he had loneliness, anguish, fear of the enemy. Yeah? There are times he had guilt. Kama ile wakati alikuwa na mrembo, Bathsheba, he underwent guilt. That is why he organized for Uriah to be killed. Yeah? We have Elijah. Those are some of the verses. We are supposed to end? Okay, at 5, yeah. So, we can do some reading. Now, please get those verses so you can also know. The next slide has verses that I really want us to read. So these ones you can note down. Elijah, he was a really mighty prophet. But there are times he was discouraged, weary, and he was afraid. You remember when fire, when alitisha Mungu moto na ikakuja, and the prophets, the Baal prophets, were consumed at some point, and he had to run away because of the king. He had fear. You remember when he was in the cave and he was telling God, sasa I think ni mimi tu nimebaki huku. And God was telling him, yes, there are remnants. Can you imagine alikuwa amepitia stress inatosha aje? Do we ever ask ourselves? You know, sometimes I undergo stress and I look at some of these characters and I'm like, have I even gone through half of what they went through for me to justify myself to be stressed up? You know? When you look at somebody like Jonah, he was angry and wanted to run away. We know the story of Jonah. Kule hata alitumwa. He goes, delivers a message, then God, and because the people were repentant, God and a change. You think alifeel aje? What questions did he ask God? We have Job. He lost everything. You've lost your property. And you see the way the Bible is so clear about what he owned. We don't, I mean, do you have those number of camels and cattle and sheep? He lost everything. He lost his children. Yeah? He was devastated. Then on top of all that, he gets sick. Yeye mwenyewe akakuwa mgonjwa. Sisi tunapatanga homa unakaa kwa kitanda and you're chatting and you're even sending on Instagram your photo there with hot chocolate. Friends, remember me. So that's what we do. This guy was seriously ill and guys would come and talk to him. But he looks at it and ashindwa, sasa you guys are like you're mocking me, you know? He even had conversations with God. Umesukumwa kwa ukuta to that point. You know? Have we, I mean, whatever we are undergoing, tumefika hapo. The losses we go through life. I know loss is painful. But have we lost, he lost his children. Na si mmoja, wengi. Can you imagine what he felt as a father? Moses, he was grieved over the sin of his people. He's supposed to lead them, but these guys are just hard-headed. Hawamsikizi. Na kwenye wametoka ndiko mbali. He has dealt with Pharaoh. They're in the desert. He goes to the mountain kidogo kidogo. He comes back. They have an idol. Can you imagine what he was going through? Is it equal to the pain you've gone through? You know, this is supposed to encourage us. There are people who've really paid a price. Yeah? Currently, I'm in school and there's this course. Currently, we are going through general epistles. And yesterday, I was reading something about the early Christians. The way they were persecuted, walikuwa naingishwa kwa oil. then they are used as light. They are burned as light for the king to eat with his people. Yani mili ya Christians ndio inaleta mwangaza, and they are burning. And I was like, gosh. And they say we have problems. Okay, we don't have problems. Those guys really, there's a king at one point, I think 60 AD. He was, wanyama wanauliwa, and he would, unaona kama ngozi ya antelope. A Christian anafungwa na hiyo ngozi. Anashonelewa ndani ya ngozi, then they are thrown into a den of lions. And the king watches and calls his people, and they watch as those Christians are being eaten, because they were considered rebellious in those days. Aki Kenya, we have freedom of worship. Have you even thought of how you'd be persecuted? Some of these things you listen and you're like, Aki, enyewe God unanipenda, I don't have problems. Yeah, and we've been told by Reverend, let's learn to give thanks to God at any given time. So we have Jeremiah. He had loneliness, feelings of defeat and insecurity. Most times Christians, you end up being lonely. We've had Reverend enough times say our pastors are very lonely. When you have to stand with one thing, the truth, you end up getting lonely. Young people squeeze you, unavaa unasema mimi siwezi taka kuwa mshamba. And you dress for the world because you want to fit in. You're not ready to separate yourself from the world because you are not of the world. You are in the world, but you're not of the world. So are you ready? I mean, this guy is really paid a price for where they are. Jesus himself was in deep anguish because he knew somehow he had to be crucified. He had been sent on earth to die for our sins. Akina squeeze bado tu tunakosea. Can you imagine what he feels? But you can imagine what he went through. And he was God, so alikuwa anajua tu inakuja. Si kama sisi hatujuangi. Although if you listen keenly to God, he will actually alert you something bad is about to happen. But can you imagine Christ knew he would be crucified? What anguish did he go through? Yeah? So these characters went through such issues. But what made them overcome? At the end of the day, David would still cry out to God. Yeah? Maybe we can project, maybe media team, you can give us maybe a verse like Psalms 38:4. He would cry out to God. Prophet Elijah, all these people, they would cry out to God. Si tunaendanga wapi? Instagram, Twitter, na Facebook. Umejitandaza na kablanketi. Oh my, feeling low. Okay, si vibaya ku reach out kwa watu, but why don't you call, somebody, a mentor, tell them, Aki, I'm not feeling okay. Can we meet, we talk? Because what will guys tell you? Oh, sorry, I see those 2 comments. I think I'm one person who learns a lot from reading people's comments. Yeah? Thank you. My guilt has overwhelmed me like a burden too heavy to bear. You see, anajua, anaisema mwenyewe kwa hati yake. He has confessed it, yes, I am having this issue. But what next? He cries out to God. So are we in that position when we undergo all these things about life? Are we able to cry to God? Job had conversations with God. What do we do after that? Thank you, media team. Okay, my wounds festers are loathsome because of my sinful folly. So he keeps saying what he's undergoing through. So I think because of time, let's go back to the presentation. Is somebody getting encouraged? Okay, we can go to the next slide. So how do we overcome mental disorders? How do we get to live a normal life without mental issues? And when they come, how do we deal with them? So the first one there's Proverbs 12:25 that says, anxiety in the heart of man causes depression, but a good word makes it glad. Yeah? So yes, you'll have anxiety. The Bible recognizes, yes, there's anxiety and all these issues, but a good word makes it glad. So number 1 is to get professional help when you're in need. Yeah? So media team, you'll please project. I think these verses are really important for us to, I hope you noted all the other verses. So the first verse is Proverbs 15:22. Proverbs 15:22. You can give us the Message Bible. Refuse good advice and watch your plans fail. Take good counsel and watch them succeed. So as young people, for you to avoid some stresses in life, please look for mentors. Look for people who can walk with you. The pastors are here. The youth leaders are there. We have a mentorship team. Ukijua uko na kampango, you want to start a business, or you want maybe to go back to school, or unataka kuleta kamrembo home, see, you first start with this team. You're so blessed you have a team. Check it out with somebody. They might see something you're not seeing. They can add you a point here or there. Business, umeshare na yeye anaweza kwambia, by the way, you can make more savings if you do ABCD. You bring maybe a guy to Basi hapa, anaangalia, atakwambia kitu. David, naona unacheka tu. Yes. And when they correct you, it says refuse good advice and you will watch your planes fail. If they highlight something, you know, we are where we are because we've worked with people. You can't make it alone in this world. You need friends. You need people to walk around with you. Yeah? So professional advice is in terms of if you're currently undergoing a mental health challenge, please get professional help. We have Dr. Phil is there. You can approach. Yani tuko tu na resource church. Hata usiende mbali. Kuja tu kwake, and she will direct you to the right facilities where you can go. Or she can even stand with you herself. Shida ni hatutakangi kujulikana. You know, when HIV came, those first days, guys would leave, for example, this county. Unaenda county mbali kuchukua ARVs zako because you don't want to be known. Then now it became kawaida. Hata watu wanasema heri nipate HIV kuliko nipate ball. So that's what young people say. You'd rather get HIV than getting pregnant. ARVs ziko. You know? So let's learn to get help before, so that to avoid unnecessary stresses. You might start a business, it fails. It doesn't mean uchoke. We were sharing with Pastor Banis, the discussion we had up there. You know, people have started businesses and they fail and you lose a lot of money. But they are able to move on. They are able to move on. So don't give up. You fail that grade, upate whatever grade umepata and it's not impressing. It doesn't mean that is you. The other day I was encouraging somebody, they got a D. Nikamuza, what plans do you have? We have so many TVETs right now. Have you thought, at your beauty course you want to do you know even how much it is? Have you gone to find out? You know, do your market research. Now, when you share with people, they get to give you some of those ideas. Proverbs, we can look at Proverbs 13:10. Proverbs 13:10. You can still give us Message Bible. I love Message Bible because it really breaks it down. Arrogant know-it-alls, they stir up discord, but wise men and women listen to each other's counsel. So again, please get to interact with others. Now, we can go back to the slides. Okay, so there is staying positive about life. And you rely heavily on God. As in the God, na hakuna option ingine. It is only God. And being very positive about life. Speaking to yourself and saying it has to work. Samba hata keki ya kwanza ikiungua. Si unapika ingine? Those recipes. Si kusema sitawahi bake. You go to school, it doesn't work. Fees inaisha na hakuna option. Go look for kibarua, save, go back to that school. Haujakorogewa kwa hiyo kibarua. Yeah? You have dreams and aspirations. Work hard for them, and it's going to come to pass. Young men and women wa IPs. Una approach huyu anakuambia hapana. Huyu hapana. Shida sio wewe, ni vile wako hajafika, and they will come. So keep trusting God on this. We can look at Psalms 55:22. Psalms 55:22. Pile your troubles on God's shoulders. He'll carry your load. He'll help you out. He'll never let good people topple into ruin. The NIV version for that. Cast your cares on the Lord, and He will sustain you. He'll never let the righteous fail. Sasa shida yetu is where we take our burdens to. We take them online. We take them to drugs. We take them to alcohol. We are not taking them to the right place. Philippians 4:6-7. Philippians 4. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. See verse tulijulia Sunday school. See, it's one of those things, hata watu wa VBS wanaweza sema, we have grown up with it. But do we actually do it? Yeah, that verse 7, and the peace of God which transcends all understanding will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. We need that peace of God to avoid some of these stresses we have in life. Yeah? Message Bible for that. It talks about, before you know it, verse 6, please. 4:6. Do not fret or worry. Instead of worrying, pray. Okay, young people, do we pray? Our Father who art in heaven, ikisha unajifunika. Do you know, praying is talking to God? I can see. The media team is really smiling. Do we pray? Akipasia kiitana maombi. Do we come? Ama tunasemanga hizo ni za watu wazee ndio wako na mashida. I mean, there are so many things to start praying for about right now. Talk to God. Akimwambie God, hii statistics sishikanishi. Hii biochemistry yake ni ngumu. Show me how I'm going to overcome this. What is the secret behind this subject? If you're dating, ask God, am I with the right person? Give me a sign. Speak to me. Holy Spirit, I need to hear from you clearly. If you want to move, change houses, change colleges, change towns. If you want to start a business, God, umenibariki na 10K. What do I do with this money? Speak to me. This is the ideas I have. I am putting my hands into this. Walk with me. You know, instead of worrying, pray. Let petitions and praises shape your worries into prayers, letting God know your concerns. Verse 7. Before you know it, a sense of God's wholeness, everything coming together for good, will come and settle you down. It's wonderful what happens when Christ displaces worry at the center of your life. Tuko pamoja? I hope I'm helping somebody. Matthew 11:28. Matthew 11:28. Here is a very common verse. NIV. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. 29. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. Message Bible for that. It's very, very. Verse 28. Are you tired? How many of us are tired about life and stuff that it can present? See, there are times you really get tired. Are you worn out? Are you burnt out on religion? Come to me, get away with me, and you will cover your life. You know, when Reverend was showing that video, yani mse amepewa 5 days get away, and I was like, gosh, see, somebody tests me today. How I would love to get away. Niende too, I relax. So you can see, you know, God is telling you, come away with me and you recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Verse 29. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Unajua kurely God to your level. Walk with me and work with me. Watch. Gosh, ama muko na Bible inasemanga hivi. Do we carry our Bibles? Ama utasema ilikuwa kwa screen? Tumesoma NIV na message Bibles. You can the message version. You can also check New King James. It's very good. Learn the enforced rhythms of grace. Oh, sorry. We can go back to message verse 29. Yeah. Learn the enforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Okay, we can go back to the slides as I wrap up. Okay, so I hope we are somewhere. Be positive and rely on God. And finally, self-care. Can you say self-care? Self-care. Being good to yourself. Imagine si dhambi kujitreat. Just be good to yourself. Replenish your resources in good time. And here resources, I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about your body resources, your mind and your soul. You can feel when ako ka stress kanaanza kuingia. You can feel when you're getting tired. Umezoea rhythm moja, routine moja mpaka you're feeling hapana. Mali ninafika, I'm getting burnout. Learn to replenish yourself, your resources. Yeah? How do we take care of ourselves? Get physically active. I mean, I see guys running in the morning, ama kajioni, taking walks, connect with others. Nasisemi hii, yasimu. Look, call Pastor Banis. Mwambie, hi Pasi, I just missed you. Can we meet for 5 minutes? Enda tu muongee na yeye. Call your friend, you know. Christine there, reach out, mpigie simu, hi, I saw you in church today, can we meet tomorrow? It's not like master theater Monday your coffee. So you can take a stroll home and connect. It doesn't have to be on social media because you'll get tired mentally. Help those that are in need. There's like a good feeling of giving. So you saw that guy who gave, Steve Harvey, he's given $25,000. That's about 2.5 M. From the 9 M he got. And he felt good about it. You might have 10 bob, but imagine umenunulia mtu kangumu, the joy they get and the joy you feel, yeah. Help others, help those who are in need. The church gives a lot of food. Do we ever have young people who are contributing to that fund? Nguo zenye zime you feel God has blessed you've added some weight. Hizo nguo, where do we take them? Ama tunaekanga ndizo tunatumianga kujipima whether umerudi weight. I've had people saying this, hizi nitaeka, nikilose weight nitazivaa. Bring them to church and somebody will be gifted and you'll be happy about it. Get enough sleep. An adult is supposed to sleep at least minimum 6 hours. If you're lucky enough, sleep for those 8 hours. Why not? Siniwe kujitreat. Be organized. We have phones. You can have a calendar in that phone. Right, Monday I will do this, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I remember chairman was talking about something in IT the other day and saying people procrastinate that name easily. especially if you're self-employed, because unasema sintafanya kesho, hauna mdosi, like somebody who will supervise you. And in all our CVs tunaandika you can work with minimum supervision. Yeah, but you get to postpone. Be organized, get work done on time. Those in school, unajua mmepewa assignments 4 za weekend. Why do you go out there, have fun, you know, the whole day, jioni unakuja kupata stress Sunday? Because Monday munafungua and you know very well you've not done your assignments. Be organized, look for hobbies, you know, take trips, do picnics, watch a movie, manage technology. Sasa hapa ni kwa social media, please relax. Usipoangalia WhatsApp for a number of hours, hakuna kitu ita happen. Usipopost Twitter the whole day, nothing will happen. Your friends will still remain. Yeah? Proper nutrition, please eat well. Young people, we are used to doing a lot of junk food. Please eat a healthy, balanced diet. Have boundaries. Learn to say yes, learn to say no. Kama hautaeza, just tell that person haiwezekani. And it's going to be well imagined. Life has taught some of us, yes, it's going to be well. Nothing will happen. Get your me time. Take care of yourself. And most important of all, that is why it is bolded, please make friends with Jesus. Hakuna njia ingine hii dunia. Si tumesikia we are not of this world, but we are in the world. We have the master who's in the world. The devil yuko huku akitafuta akiangalia. So make Jesus your friend and na utaenda mbali. Are we okay? Next slide, please, which I believe is the end. Oh, one more slide. So we have commitment. We have the Kenyan mental health policy in place. And we have the action plan that was developed last year after so many suicide cases in the country. So please don't suffer alone, seek help. Tumesema, daktari yuko pale. Kama unamuogopa, the pastors are here. The youth leaders are here. Kama kabisa uwezi, ambia rafiki yako aende kwa pastor, mwambie niko na rafiki ana shida. We still accept those ones, my friend, and you'll get help. Ni sawa? You really need professional help. Don't let it eat you. We need you. You have a purpose on this earth which you are still accomplishing. So don't allow yourself to kill yourself or to die or to do stuff or to poison yourself. Don't allow yourself to get to that point. Na ukiwa na stress, you'll not be able to achieve what God has put in your life. Final slide. Yeah, don't worry, be happy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, our patron, Christine Sitati. Let's appreciate her one more time. We really appreciate your time and the sacrifice to be here. Have we learned something? Yes, personally, I've learned a lot. Any questions? I want to open it up for a few questions. If you have any question regarding this topic of mental health, kindly feel free. You'll be given a mic to ask a question, or you can note down something so that Christine can answer it. Anyone? Okay, yeah, we have one. Just come. Okay.
So praise God, church. I'm Nixon Kidenji. Mimi ni mgeni hapa, although nimekuwa nakuja